I don't know about you, but I'm ready to see how many books I have to read in November. So let's get to playing my TBR game, Snakes and TBR Stacks. This is inspired by the game Snakes and Ladders. I play it every single month. I roll 5 times if I completed last month's TBR, 6 times if I didn't. I almost never do, so again, we are rolling 6 this month. When I land on a prompt, I have to kind of do what that prompt says. If I land on a snake, I go down the snake and I have to add another roll, so another book to my TBR. And if I land on a ladder, the prompt is kind of like a reward prompt and I move up the ladder. This month I actually don't have a lot going on. It is Goodreads Choice Awards month, so that's always exciting to see if I do any content with that. I have some ideas. Readathon wise, I am pretty empty. I normally run a month-long Patreon readathon in November that is a little bit of a sorting hat for Realmathon, but that has actually been moved on over to January for this year, which has kind of freed up my November. I know I am lightly participating in one readathon. It's like a Dungeons and Dragons inspired readathon created by Ivy, and I will leave the announcement down below. My friend Monica is co-hosting one of the teams, so I'm joining her team. We will have like quests drop all month long and we'll have to like participate in these quests, so definitely check that readathon out. And then I think Lexi has a Patreon readathon that's like traders themed this month that I'll participate in, but all of those are like random stuff. Like I don't know what I'll be reading for those at all right now, so I just kind of have the world as my oyster and can pick whatever I want, well, depending on what the TBR game gods tell me. But that's exciting, and I think we can just move on into our first roll. Keep this intro nice and short and sweet. Okay, we ended last month on human, so we're starting there, and let's do roll 1. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we landed on pull pick for our first roll, and this one's nice and easy because actually Mel and me run a book club together over on our Patreons, and for some reason this month we couldn't make a decision, so we ended up doing a poll. So I'm just gonna use that as my pull pick. Nice and easy. Everyone else got to pick it and I didn't have to choose, which has honestly been very nice. I've had a hard time choosing my TBR lately. Like choosing what I want to read has been very hard. I think it's because with moving into a new house, there's so many decisions to be made, so many like creative decisions, like what paint color I'm gonna do, where I'm putting the couch, what room is what room. I built this whole library, I had to choose what bookshelf colors, all of that. And so I think I've just been craving no choice recently, and so having a poll pick my reads is exactly what I want this month. For November, our picks were Vessalus by Courtney Wims, Silver Cloak by L.K. Stephen, Brimstone by Callie Hart, and Strength of the Few by James Islington. We do sequels if we know the Patrons are all excited. Both of those are sequels to books that most of our Patreon read and loved, and since it is a vote, then we can see who's most interested. What ended up winning was Brimstone by Callie Hart, which is the sequel to Quicksilver. This was a 5-star read for me, so I'm very, very excited to get to the sequel. I will most likely be reading it publication day. I know Mel will be too, because she took the day off work, which is really exciting. So I'm really, really excited for us to dive back into this world. Quicksilver follows our main character who ends up going kind of through like a portal and finding out that she's special, and she makes a deal with someone to earn her freedom back. But as she starts to work on that deal, she ends up caring more for these people than she expected, and it's more than just the deal that is holding her there. This was so fun, full of lots of adventures, a like morally gray-ish main love interest, and I just really, really enjoyed this one, and I'm very excited to continue. The Patreon book club is open to my 2 top tiers, and also I think Mel's 2 top tiers. If you're in either of our Patrons, you have access to the Discord where we chat and stuff about everything. It's a lot of fun. We pick a book every single month, and I really enjoy it. We often just try to read the books all together with everyone. It's nice when we pick like a new release because people tend to read around publication day, but we leave the things up. You can actually leave comments on the things we read last year still, and so it is fun when someone comes in like a little bit later and they end up reading something and they're like, I'm gonna leave my comments, and we can all just like discuss the book still. One of my favorite things that I do on Patreon, actually. I think it's a lot of fun and super chill. But with that, we can move on into my second roll. Roll 2. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. An ebook, but also a snake. A snake already. It's fine. Everything is fine. Not to mention that I only have been reading very little. Like at the time of filming this, I've read 3 books in November, which is drastically low for me. With moving and everything, it just just wasn't really a priority for me. So hopefully I get my reading mojo back because the board seems to think I need it. At least this was an easy prompt. Ebook is pretty open for me. I actually tend to read most of my books on ebook. Even if I own it physically, I tend to end up getting a copy of the ebook to read. I just prefer to read that way. Especially physically, I read the majority at night, like an hour before I go to bed and then an hour in the morning. I read a lot in my bed, so an ebook is always happiness for me there. So for this one, I again decided to take the options out of my hands, and my Patreons, sorry, we're talking a lot about that this month, get to pick a book for me for my TBR. So I gave them options this time for ebook. We gave them Vesselus, which is a romantasy with a deadly tournament and a ghosty love interest, of Flames and Fallacies, which is a romantasy with dragon egg smuggling and a rebellion brewing, A Kingdom of Shadow and Ash, which is a romantasy with an arranged marriage and it's a standalone companion novel series, and then Smoke and Scar, which is a romantasy, maybe a little fantasy leaning, Trials, Reluctant Allies, maybe. All four of these are on my romantasy bingo TBR that's coming up, so that's exciting. A little sneak peek for you of that. The announcement would have gone live before this video, so you can check that out. And calling the prompt now, it's only been a couple hours, so I might get more votes later, so sorry, but Vesselus is in the lead, so this is what I'm going to be reading, which is so exciting for me because this book was independently published and I wanted to read it. And I was putting off reading it, and then it got traditionally published and I heard it was going through like rounds of edits. So even though I still had access to the indie copy, I ended up saying I wanted to wait till it got traditionally published because I wanted to read the edits. I've been waiting on this one for a very, very, very long time. I also feel like this is the perfect time to read it because it's like spooky adjacent. This one follows our main character who is an heir to the kingdom of Zar and has been able to perceive spirits better than the average caster. She enters a deadly tournament to end her betrothal, and she ends up teaming up with Dagon, who is a enemy half ghost and all charm, in order to survive the tournament. Listen, last time I read something with a ghosty love interest, I fell in love with it and made it my entire personality. Phantasma, I'm talking to you. So hopefully I will love this as well. It feels similar, but also when you read the back, it also feels different. Like the base idea is same, but I think the concepts and the vibes are going to be very, very different. And I'm very excited, and I just like love the tones of this cover. I think it's really pretty. So congrats to my patrons for picking the one I actually wanted. Actually, I wanted them all. There was no bad one this time. Sometimes there is. Roll 3. 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think TBR gods knew that I just didn't want to pick things. I didn't want to make choices. So spinner wheel it is. And again, I'm just going to put some things on a spinner wheel. I think I'm going to do sequels because I should push myself to read a couple sequels. Okay, I'm going to throw on Tempest of Wrath and Vengeance, which is the third book in the Legacy series. The fourth book comes out soon, so I do need to get to this. The Dark Mirror, which is the fifth book in the Bone season, which I literally fell in love with, so I really should finish off the series that's currently out. There are still more books coming in the series, but this is like what's out currently, so I should finish that off. The Ending Fire, which is the final book in this series that I am emotionally damaged from, so I definitely need to continue this and give this one 5 stars. And then Princess of Blood, which just came out. I feel like it's also spooky season adjacent, so it's a perfect time to read this. It is the second book. I really, really enjoyed the first book, Servant of Earth, and I love just like how these look with no dust jacket. Okay, let us spin. Tempest of Wrath and Vengeance. Again, there was no bad pick on this one, but I am really excited to get to this one. This is very much like this dark, epic, scaled romantasy. Like, it's very much bigger than I think a lot of romantasy is. This world is huge. There's like interconnected series. It's kind of like Cosmere, but for romantasy. The other series is the Lady of Darkness series. I haven't actually read Lady of Darkness. I DNF'd it, I guess. I read the first one, but I DNF'd the series at book 2, and you can still read this one. I'm obsessed with this series. It's been a favorite of mine. We're following a world where the Fae are like given to the legacies as like an honor to be like the chosen from the legacy, and so they're raised to always want to be picked, but our main character does not want to be picked. She wants to go far away from that, but of course that means she is picked by the darkest family of legacies there is, and as we experience what this honor is, we kind of learn that is not an honor, and like the dark sides of that. I love this. I love this. I love this. I love this. So I really do need to get to book 3. But in order to help me get to this month, everyone go yell at Lexi in a video, like go comment on Lexi's channel and say read book 2 so that you guys can buddy read book 3, because I'm supposed to be keeping her accountable. Roll 4. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Single POV is pretty easy. I'm gonna go with another one that we've already kind of seen come up, which is Strength of the Few. This is the sequel to The Will of the Many, and I absolutely loved The Will of the Many. 5 stars. I have literally been waiting for this sequel for so long. Like, the ending of that first book was a cliffhanger, and I'm like, when am I gonna get this? It's been a while, but I know it's finally here, and it's going to be absolutely incredible. Another one I'm hoping to read around release date. I'm just assuming that this is single POV because the first book was single POV, so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm very, very excited for this one. The Will of the Many follows our main character, who is an orphan who ends up being adopted and sent to a school as like a spy, but little do they know that he actually wants to take down the entire system, including who he's spying for. And there's trials in this academy setting as well, which is something I absolutely love, and I just thought it was amazing. Everyone should read it. Roll 5. 7 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fantasy. Editing Cassie here, because apparently I skipped over this prompt and I never picked something for it, but I don't have time to go back and like record a new clip, so sorry for this really bad phone clip. But what I've decided to do is kind of treat this a little bit like a freebie, and I know I want to do something with the Goodreads Choice Awards nominees this year, so I'll pick something from one of those fantastical categories, romantasy or fantasy, and I'll read that for whatever this is, because I do know I would really like to do some kind of content with that, and that leaves my TBR a little bit open. So thank you for being patient with me, and I don't know how I forgot to pick a book for a prompt. Roll 6. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A wild, and we go up the ladder. Okay, the board wanted to be nice to me again, although this gave me too many options for the brain that I'm in currently. Like, now I have like every book in my library and every book on my Kindle and every book on Audible and every book in the library to pick from. But I think I narrowed it down because I was like, okay, we're still in like spooky season adjacent, so let's pick something that fits those vibes. I'm kind of nervous for it, but The Bone Witch by Ivy Asher, I own this stunning bind-up edition, so I've kind of been putting it off because I'm scared I'm not gonna love it and then I have to unhaul this, and I do this thing where like I keep books because they're pretty and I just don't read them so that I don't have to get rid of them when I don't like them. Hopefully I just love this and then I can keep it forever because it's absolutely breathtaking in my opinion. But I'm gonna pick this one because I think witches are always good for this seasonal vibes. I believe this one follows our main character who didn't expect to be the family bone witch, but when her family all ends up dying, the magic passes to her, and then she receives a knock on her door from a random stranger who says that there's someone out to get her, and they end up like kind of on the run, I think. I'm not 100% certain. I could be completely wrong. That's just what I think I remember, but I could be reading a whole other synopsis. So maybe don't quote me on it and look up what this is about if you're interested on your own. But I think that's what it is. But yeah, I'm hopeful that I will love this. Really, really hopeful. And then hopefully our last roll. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we ended it off with another spinner wheel, so nice and easy. I actually think because I was really excited for all of the ones I gave my patrons to vote for, I'm gonna put the 3 that didn't win on a spinner wheel, and we will see which one wins from those. Sometimes when I make TBRs, I feel like once I put something in like a vote or something, I can never put it on another one during that month. But right now, decisions are too hard, so even deciding what went on polls and stuff was kind of hard for me. So I just don't want to have to make a decision. So like having the 3 of those already there feels like a good thing for me to do. Okay, for a refresher, we have a Flames and Fallacies, Smoke and Scar, and a Kingdom of Shadow and Ash. Hitting, spin. That was so close to Smoke and Scar, but A Kingdom of Shadow and Ash is the winner. This one I think is going to be fun because it's standalone companion novels. I think we follow a different couple in each one, which has worked for me and has not worked for me. Typically I do like when they're dual, like I like when it's a duology and then we follow a new couple, but I have liked like the Slaying the Shadow Prince, Slaying the Shifter Prince. Those standalones did work for me. This is all by the same author though, but I am excited. I think this first one is an arranged marriage where she actually wants to kill him, but he doesn't know that. And I love that setup so much. So I'm very, very excited to dive into this. And I think this cover is really pretty. For some reason, the character art on this just like really works for me. So I hope I love it so then I can own it because I have so much room now for more books. So I need to love things so I can buy them. With what money? I don't know. I'm very excited for a lot of these. I'm very, very excited to read Vesselus. So I'm really glad that won. You know when you do a poll and then something wins and you're like, oh yeah, that's the one I wanted. That's how I felt about this. But honestly, excited for a lot of these. And I'm hoping pretty much anything you saw on polls are things that are on my like immediate TBR currently. So hopefully I'll get to some more of those. Hopefully my reading vibes do come back. I think that November should be like leveling out a little bit for us. I think our construction should be getting done in the house. Let me know what you're excited to read this month. Let me know what books are on your TBR. I'm gonna leave the Creating My Home Library video on the screen in case you missed it because this beautiful backdrop is obviously somewhat new and I'm very excited and I created it all in that video that you can watch. If you made it all the way to the end of the video and you'd like to leave me an emoji just to say you were here, leave me a strawberry emoji and have yourselves an absolutely remarkable day.